this run. Nice play. Deckerman, he's still on his feet. Touchdown, Wolverine.
Exactly what they want to get yards.
He's going to go for it. He's got a guy towards the end zone. It's Grabs. Touchdown. What a play.
And long here for the Storm. Handoff to, we're going to fake the handoff, excuse me. Davidson on the deep ball. He's got some space, and it's caught. Still on his feet. Touchdown, Storm. Wow. Santa Maria.
I'm working on it.
How many screens did you have the Masters on? Like, how many laptops, tablets did you have open streaming all the holes?
6? Is that too many?
Well, got a good amount of coverage.
Got
Yeah,
the Buffalo Wild
6.
Wings in your
All
house.
right, Mike, I should be back up on the regular way. You got me there? I'm going to flip back over.
Gotcha.
Does that sound better to you now?
Oh, look at that. What a transition.
How about that?
Move.
On the fly transition. All right. So now, I mean, I can't even watch the damn golf tournament anymore.
Stupid work.
It's getting in the way of everything. You know what I'm saying?
You know,
All right.
if you had wings at your house, it would just be like a B-dubs over there with all the 6 screens for the Masters, some wings.
Come on. I don't even have it on one. Child's upstairs going to school, so she's using some bandwidth. Look at all the guys under par, though. Now that I got it back, Larry Mize, holy smokes. Lee Westwood, who was the sneaky pick. Xander is 2 under. So after 2 holes, Xander's went birdie. Bunch of guys at -1, including Scotty Scheffler, Louis Oosthuizen, Matt Kuchar, Webb Simpson, Charles Howell III. And then Tiger is Tiger even? Yeah, Tiger's even after the 1 hole. And DeChambeau saved par, so he is even, and John Rahm is 1 over after making that bogey. So there you are. Are we up to date now on the Masters?
We're good.
All right, 505-246-0610, 888-922-0610. You got football tonight here on the Sports Animal. You get Titans, and you get, what's the other one you get? Who's the other one? Oh, the Colts. Is that who you get?
Yes.
All right.
I like this game a lot. I don't really know what to think of Indianapolis. Like, I feel they're a good football team. They're just very average offensively. T.Y. Hilton just feels like he got ridiculously old overnight.
Slow.
Not explosive. Maybe Hines has a good game. Jonathan Taylor, all of a sudden, the fumbling issues. I think too much I like offensively from Tennessee, even against a solid Colts defense. That's why I like them tonight.
All right. Well, we'll have Lobo Talk first, right, Micah? You get Lobo Talk at 5 o'clock. And then we get the Thursday night game of the week, the National Football League, here on your home for the National Football League, 95.9 FM and AM 610 The Sports Animal. There was a Ravens, I saw a Ravens COVID scare this morning.
Sean on the line.
And they had to kind of shut down. So you've got that to look at. And I think for the most part, the rest of the COVID stuff is under control.
Sean, good morning. How you living?
Not too bad, sir. How's it going?
Everything's all right. What's going on?
I got that bye-week blues, right?
That's all right. You'll beat the Chargers here soon.
This week.
You watch everything else, man. Here's the beauty of bye week. You go into it and you don't, especially when your team's, I don't know, the Jets. You go into it, you enjoy football, you make a bet, you play fantasy football, whatever you do, and you enjoy football. You don't feel like crap after the game. It's like the beauty of going to a bowl game, right? Where there's 2 teams, you kind of pick one, you're into it. And if your team doesn't win, you don't feel like crap afterwards.
Here's the game I'm looking forward to. Outside of the high-powered offenses of the Eagles and Giants, I'm looking forward to that Steelers-Bengals game, provided that half the Steelers actually manage to play. But that'll be a good game. I'm looking forward to Joe Burrow.
You should be. Joe Burrow's fun to look at. And who knows who's going to play quarterback for the Steelers?
Man.
Yeah.
Can you imagine Sam Darnold over there throwing passes to Juju?
It might happen next year. But it happened in college, didn't it? Weren't the 2 of them together in college?
They were. They were both at USC.
Yeah, at the same time, right?
Yep, could knows?
Yeah, I think that's what's going to happen. That or I think Sam Darnold to San Francisco makes a lot of sense to me too.
It does. Kyle Shanahan's offense, I could see him flourishing in that.
Totally think so. All right, well, enjoy it because you're not going to feel like you might want to drink, but you're not going to feel like you have to drink after the game anyway.
Yeah. There's no way the Jets can lose this week, so we'll delay that misery till next week.
But they're going to beat the Chargers next week.
We'll beat the Chargers. I have the same faith that you do. We'll keep that going.
I can't wait to see the pinky toe
Appreciate you guys.
tattoo.
Have a good
All right,
week.
Sean. See you. If you weren't with us earlier, Josh said that if the Chargers lose to the Jets, he will get a Jets logo tattooed on his pinky toe. So right, left, inside, outside. Where's it going to fit on a pinky? You must have some big old toes.
So I was telling him that it's probably going to come down to a Jets game-winning field goal. So whatever side the kicker kicks from, his foot, that'll be the foot that he gets the tattoo.
Okay, I think that's fair.
Yeah,
That's a
I'm
good
game with
one.
that. I'm game with that. I mean, I got some big guys, so I got some big pinky toes. The Jets logo will fit on one of them.
I got some big pinky toes.
I mean, it's fat
Toes,
guys
like
with fat
more
feet.
than two? Like, what are we doing?
No, it'll go up a little bit on the foot, but there's some room for a pinky toe.
No, we just
or a
we did
pinky tattoo.
plenty of room with that little old school Jet logo with the Jets
just the
inside
old
the
school
plane.
Jet.
Yeah, the little
Fit
jet.
perfectly.
Just to remind me how horrible the
J-E-T-S.
Chargers are.
Every time you put your socks on.
You got
What's
so
gonna
excited.
go-
It's not even
yeah.
this weekend. The game is not even this weekend. That's how
I know, 2
excited
weeks.
Jeff is about
I am.
this Chargers Jets game.
It's my favorite game of the
Just
season.
to hate on the Chargers.
Not even to hate on the Chargers. Well, now it kind of is.
Yeah, it
But
is. Come on.
but at first it was like, how do you? So 2 weeks ago when they lost that game to the Broncos, right? And you're sitting here just going, oh, how does it get any worse than that? Oh, that's as bad as it gets. It can't. And then whenever you say it can't get any worse, it can certainly get a little worse.
They had
And
a
so
chance to win it,
yeah,
and they blew
yeah.
it.
And then this week they win the game. They celebrate winning the game, and reverse call yanks their celebration away. Give me back my champagne. Yeah. So now,
You
how
knew
does
that
it get
was
worse?
gonna happen.
Sure, I did. And so now that's why I know this is going to happen. So how does it get worse than that? Oh, it can't get any worse than that. Oh, that's as bad as it gets. We lost to our 2 rivals, but yeah. No, it can get worse. You could lose to Adam Gase and the New York Football Jets. I mean, right? How else do you write the script?
Yeah, that's
Oh,
that's the worst thing that can happen in football the rest of the year, right? Someone losing to the Jets.
That's right.
I mean,
That's
what
right.
do they do?
And then the Chargers are going to beat the Chiefs.
Lose the Jets, fire Anthony Lynn, hire Ryan Leaf as their coach, beat the Chiefs.
Ryan Leaf.
There you go. That's the way
I'm-
of the Chargers.
I'm going to guess they're not going to hire Ryan Leaf. They're going to hire Rocky Long, and he's going to go in.
He's got a clean
Ooh,
house.
I like that.
How can you hire Rocky Long? Have you seen his defensive stats?
Oh, fair enough. Yeah, he can't coach. That's right. He's not very good. Yeah, he's brutal. I forgot about that. Yeah, fair enough. That's a lot of Charger talk. It's a lot of Charger talk. What's the latest? Since I had to reboot everything, what's the latest on the Ravens thing? Is that they just had to shut the doors? They had to go into protocol. It's contact tracing. It's somebody in their staff, from what I understand, tested
Take a timeout.
positive.
That's about it. You just take a timeout. Let's take the day. Get back on track.
All right. I guess that's where it is. I want to get into when we get back. Can we get into the Russell Westbrook stuff? Stephen A. Smith just tweeted that the Hornets have put in a bid for Russell Westbrook. Russell Westbrook wants out of Houston. Houston feels to me the Rockets now. With the NBA draft next week and trade's going to happen, Houston feels to me like an absolute bleep show. That they put all their eggs in the basket and they didn't get there. They got bounced in the second round. They've got James Harden. They got Russ. They went with the small ball. They changed coaches. They went with Steven Silas. It feels like, and they don't have a lot of assets, and they don't have draft picks. And now Russ wants out. How do you salvage what they put in? They've invested a lot there. I mean, does it feel that same way to you? Like, we don't know where we're going, but we got to figure it out tomorrow?
Oh, yeah. I got takes. on the Rockets and NBA for you after this break.
All right, we'll do that when we come back. 505-246-0610 if you want to get in. Holiday season's coming. You're going to have packages on the doorstep. Don't let somebody take them. You want somebody to protect what's important to you. Somebody may be watching your home. Somebody may be watching your business. And if a criminal wants to break in, they notice when you come and go. They notice your patterns. When you can't be there, call IPS. They will take care of your home, of your business. Highly trained, armed officers can be the eyes protecting your home or your business. On-site guards or 24-hour patrols. Bad guys then cannot predict the good times to target you. Holiday season means travel. Holiday season means packages. It's time to take care of what's important to you, to protect your property, protect your home. That's what IPS does. If alarms go off, they respond within 5 to 7 minutes with a trained armed security officer. I've used IPS for years. It gives us peace of mind. It gives our neighbors peace of mind. I know it'll do the same for you. Call IPS at 505-897-2420. That's 505-897-2420. Or go to ipsglobal.com. They're committed to making Albuquerque a safer place to live and to do business.
I'll just get a little closer.
Oh, instead it's a gorgeous pass.
Here's what
Hill's gonna just shoot it.
He's going to go all the way.
And he's gonna fire at the buzzer, and he hits.
Great pass, Hadbury, and thank you very much.
Tie in the district. Inside. Fly. Eagles.
Chavez uses some athleticism. And then Morris down low, able to finish. You called it, Steve, in 10 seconds. And look at this. Stripped. Stolen Watson. Christian Lucero beats the buzzer. Here's Ian Chavez, the sharpshooter. Got it.
Said that any better. He answered the question. He
On
got
a
another
steal
one.
at the buzzer. Back to back for Chavez.
Over the paint. Medina from the volleyball line. Medina wants another one from deep. Oh, he wants 10. Give him 10.
Lewis finds Watson. He's going to finish. One-handed slam. Vista, but just all the different scenarios we could see potentially play out ahead of the state tournament.
Melfi can cash it in. He's got some protection. Deep ball. Erickson's open. Touchdown, Monarchs.
Second and 10. Smith looking, and he's going to fire over the middle, and he's got his guy, and it's another big play. Walking away for a touchdown, Tristan Altier.
Hand it off to
All right, so what's Bryson doing now? So he was in the pine straw. Oh, I see what he's doing. He hit from the pine straw again into the shrub. So he had a drop, and now he can't get it to stay. So he just placed it, and he took a penalty shot. So 1, 2 out, 3, and he's hitting. I'm going to guess 4 into number 12. And he just hit into the creek. Holy smokes, Bryson's falling apart. Are you watching this at all? Using any bandwidth for this? You can just go to ESPN's homepage. It's right there. You don't even have to have the plus, dude. It's right there on the front. Or maybe because I have the plus, it's right there on the front. The Masters is underway after a little bit of a delay this morning. You've got guys at -2 at the top. Larry Mize, Hideki Matsuyama, Lee Westwood, and Xander. All -2. How about, you look at the leaderboard, JJ. You look at Lee Westwood was a guy that I said, man, I don't know that he'll win, but he's always near the top. He was at a relatively good salary. Matsuyama always is there. There's, to your point earlier, I don't know that it's ever been deeper. Ever been deeper.
Guys that you legit think can win, and then plenty that you expect to compete and be there on the weekend. The elite tier is bigger than it ever has been in the game of golf, and there's a lot of guys that you run down the list. Oh, I like this guy. Oh, I like this guy. Oh, I think he can compete and make a run. No doubt about it.
All right, for the guy that you're all worried about or thinking about, Tiger made par on his second hole. He's playing the backside first, so he's played 10 and 11, and he's even par, 2 strokes back. All right, we've been talking, or we were, a little bit about the NBA and Russell Westbrook, and you said, oh, I have thoughts on that. So what are your thoughts on? Because I told you, Houston feels to me like just an absolute bleep show. And
well, it's a bleep show because they're restarting.
Yeah.
Like
but they didn't want to restart. This wasn't a planned restart.
They didn't have a choice.
Right.
In this instance, Russell Westbrook is a good basketball player, but he's not a number one. And when he realizes that, he is going to be successful. When he is a number 2 to a superstar and takes a step back, he will be really successful. That was what he was supposed to be to James Harden, but it never quite meshed because the dude still has good athleticism. He's going to give you all the effort. That's never in question. Yeah, okay, he can't shoot, but he can still facilitate, rebound the basketball, play defense. And that is why all of a sudden you hear Russell Westbrook to the Hornets, because he can go to the Hornets and do whatever the heck he wants, and they're not a championship contender. So if Russell Westbrook realizes it, and it's a hard place to be, when you are someone that is talented enough to be an MVP in this game, but understand, hey, I need to take a step back. I need to be different to be successful in the league. Until he realizes that, he's just going to be putting up a bunch of meaningless numbers on teams like the Charlotte Hornets.
I want to get back to that. Dude, there's 7 guys in the shrubs right now. 7 guys deep in the shrubs looking for Bryson's ball. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 dudes.
That's the thing.
7 dudes.
Bryson bombs it, but he's going to have to get out of trouble a lot.
No, this was his second shot because he bombed it right he bombed it right into the pine straw.
Yeah.
And so the difference here would be would he take an unplayable as opposed to a lost ball? And so because he played a provisional, he dropped from where he hit the second shot, and then he hit the next one into the creek. So he's blowing up right now. He looks like that Bryson that he may have found it buried in a shrub. Like he's looking. All right. So is Michael Jordan going to allow that to happen in Charlotte? I mean, obviously, if they put in a bid, they've got a plan. Is the plan then would be for Russ to go there and be the number 1 with the Hornets?
Yeah, I think you're making a run at seventh, 8th seed in the Eastern Conference, just trying to make the playoffs, break that drought.
All right. All right. So evidently he found his ball buried in a shrub. He took 2 club lengths, which is going to put it, I think, just on the grass. And he's going to stand in the pine straw with no backswing. Watch him par this hole. Like if he pars this hole, he's winning this damn tournament. And I don't even know how he can identify his ball. JJ, it's like going to like thick shrubs and somehow identifying your ball. Now he pulled it out. He's picking it up, and it's his. All right. If he pulls this off, I mean, it's magic. Where else can Russ go? Where else would be a good fit for him? That fits your bill of him going somewhere and being a number 2 to somebody.
Well, the problem is when 35-year-old Chris Paul, with 2 years and $85 million left on his contract, is more desirable than Russell Westbrook, you have a lot of work to do. That's why Phoenix is like, you know what? We got Devin Booker. We got DeAndre Ayton. We bring in Chris Paul. We kind of don't care what money we're paying him. We feel like that's going to push us to be a playoff team. Russell Westbrook should be one of those players, but until he understands his limitations, where he just can't go out athlete everyone and expect to win games at a high level in the NBA, he's going to be destined for Charlotte. He's going to be destined for teams that don't have conference final aspirations, whereas the Houston Rockets are in a situation they tried, it didn't work. I think James Harden does stick around, and they try to retool around him over the next year or two. But it was a swing for the fences. That was another miss for the Houston Rockets.
You know what I've always thought? I thought Russ would be the good number 2 to Kawhi. I always thought he'd be better than Paul George with the Clippers with Kawhi. Is that ridiculous? Now I know it can't happen because I don't think they can move Paul George. But do you think that's ridiculous?
I don't think it's ridiculous. Because I look at Russ, and he should be like a Jimmy Butler. Like, he has those tendencies, he has that effort, he can be that kind of presence on a defensive end, but he's never been able to harness that, to the level. When he was alongside Kevin Durant, it worked because Kevin Durant could create his own shot, could space the floor, and could shoot. So I think to that point of if you're along with a guy that can create some, that can be a good shooter, work for Russ.
Bryson just flopped it like you and I down the hill, by the way. He did find his ball. So he had to take one stroke. So 1, 2 in, 3 out, 4. He's going to be lucky to get away with bogey. I think it's a double. So where else does he go, JJ? Like, what are the options? Like, where do you see that's a fit that somehow it works? I mean, the Knicks are looking for anything, so I think the Knicks would love it. Do you wait till after the draft and see who gets what? Do you say, I mean, Miami? Does he work with what they have in Miami? They've got a great core in Miami. I don't know that they want to disrupt what they've got going there. Like where does it work? Portland doesn't work. Phoenix instead of Chris Paul, would it work better there?
Right now, it does not work for Russell Westbrook to go to a contending team. I'm talking about a team that has aspirations at conference finals, potential NBA finals run, and that's small right now. That's still the teams in LA. Looking at Milwaukee, and Miami is going to be very good again next season. Philadelphia, there's not room right now on one of those contenders for Russell Westbrook.
Yeah. All right, 505-246-0610. Love to hear from you, 888-922-0610. Update you on the leaderboard when we get back. John Rahm's struggling. Bryson's putting for bogey. He's going to have about 10 feet. I think he's going to make this bogey putt. If he gets away with a bogey, he's a magician on this hole. Wait till you watch the highlights of what he just made a mess out of this. If you're on the phone, we'll get to you as soon as we get back. Got to take this final break. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
The New Mexico High School Coaches Association, established in 1941, is an organization of New Mexico's best and most professional interscholastic coaches. Coaches across work daily to help our student athletes excel in the classroom, on the field of play, and in our communities. Students that participate in interscholastic activities attain higher grades, higher graduation rates, and higher wages. Responsible for the North-South All-Star Games, statewide Coaches Award Program, and providing multiple professional development opportunities for New Mexico's coaches. Be a great coach by coaching beyond the game. Get into the game with Garden Swartz Team Sales. They have everything you need, from screen printing, embroidery, and digital printing services, high school letterman jackets, and all high school and club uniforms, and individual and team apparel with the most reliable brands like Speedline, Rollins, and Wilson. And don't forget to check out the latest F7 Shut helmet. It's all at Garden Swartz Team Sales. Give them a call, 505-884-1234. Garden Swartz Team Sales.
as Javi's looking, and he's got a guy wide open, and it's Gay, and he's going to walk into the end zone. But he did a good job with it. First and goal, it's Chavez to the middle, and Chavez stops.
And Stevens in motion. On the handoff to Mitchell. Look out! Oh, see you later. Take it to the house. Fly, Cardinals fly. To the other side, provides some protection. And off to Webskowski again. Look out! See you later. Good night. Touchdown, Webskowski. Day. He's going to fire to the end zone. Open man! Touchdown! Wildcats! Not a defender inside.
A little bit.
Kowski on the sideline! Hasta mañana! He's off to the races! Touchdown, Clovis!
Albuquerque this afternoon.
34-24. Rancho late in the third. How about this run? Nice play. Dickerman, he's still on his feet. Touchdown, Wolverine.
Exactly what they want to get yards.
He's going to go for it. He's got a guy towards the end zone. It's grabbed. Touchdown. What a play.
And long here for the Storm. Hand off to, we're going to fake the handoff, excuse me. Davidson on the deep ball. He's got some space.
Masters is already interesting. Xander Schauffele and Lee Westwood are your leaders at 3 under. John Rahm, JJ, bogeyed his second and third hole. He was 2 over. He made birdie on 13. He's playing in the same group as Bryson DeChambeau. DeChambeau made an absolute mess, or as the president would say, a disaster. It's a disaster of the 13th hole, their 4th hole of the day. DeChambeau scrambled, and I tell you, scrambled for double bogey. He hit his first ball right into the pine straw, hit his second one left into his shrub. 7 dudes, I counted, 7. 1, 2, that would be like one of those little telestrators. 7 dudes found his ball. He was lucky that he could get a 2-club length, so took the 1 stroke unplayable, and then flubbed a shot, double bogey for Bryson. So Bryson's 2 over after 4. Rahm is 1 over after 4. Tiger's even par. He's playing his 3rd hole. And Xander Schauffele, along with Lee Westwood, are your leaders at -3. It's the opening drive, wrapping it up on a Thursday, 246-0610. Rudy, thank you for holding. Rudy, you're on the Quan's Auto Care Hotline. Good day, sir.
Good morning. Hey, maybe we can take up a fund for Jerry Palm's phone.
No kidding.
I love listening to that guy, but it was a little tough this morning. I want to get in on Anthony Lynn. You know who he reminds me of?
Nope.
Mike Shepard.
Okay, I'm listening.
I mean, the Lobos under Mike Shepard were 9-50, and they could have just as easily been, a 500 team. Ways they lost games were mind-boggling. And it was like every set of circumstance that had to, Texas Tech, 4th and 19 from their own 20-yard line and a rainstorm, and they complete the pass for 21 yards and go down and kick the field goal and win by 1. Things like that. And that I see that in the Chargers, and sometimes that's just the coach's fate. I like Anthony Lynn. I think he does a good job. He seems like a gentleman. He seems like the kind of guy you'd want to play for. So I wish him success, but, that's a bottom line business, and it's a cold-hearted business. And I spent 7 years being an NFL player agent, and I know. And the only thing they care about is production. So if he doesn't start winning, I don't know how long they hang on to that. And I understand minorities, but I don't see any Hispanic people being pushed for head coaches.
Ron Rivera be the only one, I believe, right? Is Ron
Right.
Rivera the only one?
Name another one that ever coached in the NFL besides him and Tom Flores.
Tom Flores, yeah. I don't know. I can't. And I don't know, is there a Hispanic rising through the ranks as a coordinator? Who's the hot young coach who's Hispanic?
Yeah, you see what I mean? So if you start going down that road, you never come back from it. And I just think that while they should be aware of it, I don't think they should just elevate a person to a head coach because he fits any particular minority theme. I just think the more opportunities you give these people, the more people are going to rise. And look at Tony Dungy. I mean, was there a better head coach in the NFL than Tony Dungy? I can't think of one. I think he was one of the best coaches ever in the NFL. And I never looked at him as black or anything else. I just looked at him as a great head coach. Same thing with Mike Tomlin. And I just hate this conversation because I went through it when I got into law school because of the Bakke decision. And anybody who's a lawyer out there knows what I'm talking about. I got asked, did I get into Michigan because I was Hispanic? That's probably the most insulting question I've ever been asked in my life.
It's a catch-22. It's really, and there was good conversation over the summer on this because, JT, what was there was a proposal about some sort of an incentive, high draft pick or something to hire a minority coach. They just passed something this week, a third-round compensatory pick, and the African-American people, the players, the coaches are saying, no, I want it on my merit. I just want to be considered in the pool like everybody else. I don't want to get a job simply because of the color of my skin.
Right.
Nor do I want to not get it, by the way.
That's the way it should be, and I think if it is that way, then we eliminate this whole conversation and we do it because we provide opportunities for everybody. Everybody.
Yeah. All right, Rudy.
Yeah, take care.
Good to hear. See you. By the way, Rudy sent me a picture today of his room, like his New Mexico Bowl room, where he's got the helmet from every game, and it's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. Paul, good morning, Paul. How you living?
You know what? Life is good. Life is really good right now. But I just wanted to touch base on Russell Westbrook. I was having this debate with my friend the other day, and he's just adamant that there's no place for him. He doesn't fit anywhere. But you hit it right on the head because I thought the same thing the other day. I think Kawhi Leonard is probably the only place where he would fit in. I think he'd be a better fit than Paul George, to be honest with you. Let me tell you why. Because Kawhi is the only he reminds me of like a Larry Bird and Magic Johnson when it comes to, you could score 12 points in a game but yet somehow still dominate. And then Russ would be able to take a lot of that offensive load. The guy is, Russell Westbrook's a physical specimen. The guy can score at will. He can do that, but it would take a superstar like Kawhi to be able to kind of defer to him, and I think that would be a great fit for him to go to LA.
And I think
you hit it right on the head, and I completely agree with you on that.
Oh, thank you, Paul. I appreciate it. Thanks. And JJ, on that, I've always thought Russ going back to LA at some point in his career. He played at UCLA. I always thought at some point I always thought Lakers. But I always thought that was kind of the path that was going to get him to that level. And now we're getting to the point. How old is Russ? He's got to be. He's not done.
He's not done. He's in his 30s. The thing is, Russ has to be the one to take the step back. It's not someone that's playing with Russ, because Russ doesn't have that kind of game. He's going to shoot terribly at nights. He's going to have a lot of turnovers. Like, his usage rate has to go down. And with a scorer like James Harden, you thought that would be a better duo, because if Russ just takes a little bit of a step back, inserts his athleticism at times, is the one that's attacking, and then you kind of leave the outside scoring to James Harden, it'd work. But they could never mesh, and those guys were so similar with what they wanted to do with the basketball. To me, at this point, it's going to be Westbrook having to be the dude in his career that takes a little bit of a step back, is the one deferring to a better scorer, but he's able to still contribute kind of all across the board.
Yeah, see, I never thought that would work well there. I just thought there was two guys who had to have the ball all the time. I just, the ball's always in Russ's hand. The ball's always in James Harden's hand, and it can't always be in both their hand. I thought it would work well on certain nights. I just never thought that was the recipe long term, where, you look at Kawhi, the ball doesn't have to be in his hands. And that's why that feels right to me. Russ wouldn't work with LeBron. I never thought Russ would work there. I don't know who the superstar is that doesn't need the ball in his hands all the time. Maybe it's how about Giannis? How about Russ with Giannis?
If the ball is out of Kawhi's hands.
Yes.
So that's what even if I think that's fascinating. If you switch, is Paul George better with James Harden than Kawhi Leonard? Because I think Paul George is a very good player opposite Kawhi because he can stretch the floor. He's a good defender. But if you make the switch, do they feel better? Like is Kawhi, Westbrook, Harden, Paul George work better? I think it's fascinating, because you're talking about the two ball dominant players and who's going to play second fiddle. But I think it's more until Russ realizes he's not the alpha dog anymore. Then
I think that's right.
Kind of bump heads with whoever he teams up with, and he's destined for the next couple of years to then just put up ridiculous numbers on a team that's barely getting into the playoffs.
What about with Giannis? What do you think of Russ with Giannis?
In that regard, I don't see what Milwaukee would give up to make that move. Because I think they came up short, understandably, but I still like Eric Bledsoe, Chris Middleton, that cast of players around Giannis instead of just having fewer guys and then you got Russ and Giannis.
Would you not rather have Russ than Chris Middleton with Giannis?
No.
And maybe that means they go to New York.
Chris Middleton is getting you 20 points per game, doesn't need the ball in his hands, can play off the basketball. I want Chris Middleton instead of Russell Westbrook.
Yeah, I'm not sure I'm with you, but I mean I like Middleton a lot. Like what if?
Because Giannis does the same thing Russ does, and so you'd have two guys that need to be attacking, need to be breaking down the defenses. So who's?
Yeah, you need somebody on the perimeter. Yeah, I think that's fair. And you're right. In Philly, it doesn't work. Like I'm thinking, who's up and who's up? What about Denver? No, that doesn't work there. I mean, it doesn't work. You got Murray, who's ball dominant and who's been terrific on the ball. It doesn't work there. I'm just thinking of a team that's just, and that's why it's the Clippers to me. That's why it's absolutely, and it's not going to happen. It can't happen. It won't happen. But him instead of Paul George would have been the right move, and I think they just missed. I think it's just too late. You're not going back. I think they just missed on it.
That's it for Russ. It's going to be the next couple years of. If Charlotte is really interested, all right, you're playing for the 7th or 8th seed, you're putting up your numbers, and then when you really get to the back end, what kind of player are you for the last few years chasing that title?
Yeah, all right. 505-246-0610, and we'll get more into it tomorrow. Masters is going on right now. Scotty Scheffler has joined the lead. God, I was close on him too. Scheffler and Schauffele, along with Lee Westwood. It's early, man. It's a long tournament. Enjoy it today. I'm going to stare at it all day. I'm absolutely loving it. I know you will too. Thanks to Jerry Palm for being with us today. J. Pole and Josh, great work on the ProView side. Micah, another terrific day. Jim Rome Show is next. Dan Patrick Show's after that. Sports Bar at 3. Lobo Talk, 5 o'clock. NFL at 6. It's the Colts and the Titans. JJ, smell you tomorrow. Have a good day.
Have a great day, y'all.
Be good to each other, please. Be kind, loving, caring, and sharing. See you later.